What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday. Welcome. Thank you for everyone for joining. I saw some people waiting in the in the queue down there. So I'll wait a little bit for YouTube to send out the notifications to everybody, and we'll get rolling here in a little bit. Get set up on this side over here. And looks like people are rolling in, so that's good. I think the notifications are going out. And we'll get started. Excuse me. So today's live show is going to be, I get my other screen set up. So today's live show is going to be covering, of course, the Carnival Radiance, Ensenada, and the Long Beach Cruise Terminal as always. I just went on the cruise on April 6th, and so I'll be happy to answer some questions for people that are going to be cruising here shortly. Or I know that I caught the end of Dion, the cruise director's contract, and then Alex was there shadowing him. So there might be some questions about Alex, the cruise director. Unfortunately, on my cruise, he was just shadowing, but I'll talk a little bit about what he had told me when I spoke with him. So those of you that are cruising in the next few months with Alex, the cruise director, not Dion. So we'll kind of go from there. Looks like people are popping in. I see Donzo. I see April. I see the cruising couple. I see Kenny Ingersoll. I see Shelly. I see Bree. I see Justin. I see Antoinette. So lots of people pouring in. So thank you guys. Thank you all for being here. Again, we'll just kind of give it a few minutes just for a few more people to pop in. Again, this live stream, for those that might be watching it on a replay later on, we'll go for an hour and a half maybe, depending on the amount of questions that are coming in. But basically, we'll be covering now, and I like to try to do things kind of in progression, right? So if there's any pre-cruise questions you have, and of course, when you get to the Long Beach Cruise Terminal, what to expect there on the ship, in port at Ensenada. I've only been to Catalina once. That's why I didn't put it on here. You're welcome to ask any questions. I only did the golf cart rental there, but there might be some others in the chat that have been to Catalina that can maybe answer your questions. So feel free to ask those if you'd like. But mainly, again, the focus of the live show today is Carnival Radiance, Ensenada, and Long Beach Cruise Terminal. I see my boy Evan in there. Thank you, Evan. I see Shelby, my niece, there as well. I see Deidre. I see Christian. Let's see who else. All right. Well, we got about 43 people in here, so that's good. That's definitely a good quorum. I see Brian. Hey, welcome in. So, what else we got here? Well, okay. So I did see a question. Dion will be returning. So yeah, glad you asked that question, April. For those that kind of missed it, so in the intro, I was just talking about that Alex, cruise director, is there right now, filling in for Dion. Dion is coming back. I want to say March 10th, if I remember correctly. But he, as of right now, listen, we've seen some interesting developments just recently. For those of you kind of follow the cruise directors, Christian, those of you that cruise with him, maybe on the Panorama, he's left Carnival. Ryan Rose just recently announced that he's no longer working for Carnival. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to speculate. That's not the purpose of this live show. But as of right now, according to the Carnival cruise director schedule that gets put out by Carnival, Dion is still scheduled to come back there in early March. I want to say March 10th. First time cruise on the Radiance, January 23rd. All right, awesome, Brian. Okay, cool. How was the weather? Yeah, that's a good question. Gets asked a lot. It was cold. It was actually better this last time in January than in, like, let's say December and November. It was nice in Ensenada. We didn't have an issue. It was really sunny and I actually wore long pants, but Evan wore shorts, and it was nice. I told him, I was like, man, I wish I wore shorts. It was actually pretty nice. It was cold, especially at night and when you're out on the ship. But even then, in the evening time, I felt like in December it was a lot colder. But who knows, right? Because the weather is always going crazy. Hey, Eric, I see you there. Kayla Winter, so happy to catch you live. Thanks so much. Of course, I can't remember my questions immediately. No worries. I will, like I mentioned, I will be here for an hour and a half, depending on how long. If you guys keep asking questions, I'll hang tight and try to answer as many as I can. So, Christopher Kirk, I see you there saying hello. First time cruiser, April 17th. Radiance is getting a golf cart, electric bike, worth getting. Robert, I'm assuming in Catalina you're talking about. I think so. I think the golf cart rental was great. Evan is in here as well. My best friend and his family. They were part of that with me. Shelby, his daughter, and her boyfriend were with us. I thought it was well worth it. We had a great time. Definitely. I haven't rented an electric bike. I've heard other people say they've rented an electric bike. If you're by yourself, maybe the electric bike option. And the only reason why I say that is because the island's pretty large. You could walk, but man, it's a lot to cover. I don't care how good of a walker you are and what great shape you are in. It's a lot to cover. Like if you want to follow the map, like when they give you it when you rent the golf cart. So I would say it's worth at minimum. I don't know what the pricing is like for electric bike. If you're by yourself, maybe do the electric bike route. If you're with a group of people, definitely I would say consider the golf cart rental. I agree, Bree. Ryan definitely will be missed. Hey, Shay, I see you there. Sorry, Matt Catalina. Yeah, no, I figured that's what you meant. No worries. Yeah, golf cart rental. We made it. Hey, Maria, welcome in. Glad you made it. Samira says, is the food at the steakhouse free as long as you make the reservation, and are the pictures on formal night free? The pictures, let me get to that one quickly and easily. No, the pictures are not free. They have some packages you can pay for before the cruise. They do offer a few little deals here and there. So I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, especially when everybody has really good cameras these days on their phone, so you can take your own pictures. But no, to answer your question on that, on the steakhouse, that when you pay for the steakhouse in advance with your reservation, the $48 it is for adults. So once you get to the steakhouse, yes, the food. So once you paid for the reservation, the food you order at the steakhouse is included. So you've got the appetizer, right? And with the appetizer, I saw some conversations about the steakhouse, and somebody saying, well, I thought, oh, you could order 2 appetizers. And the misconception is that you could order, and maybe there's been some one-off situations. I'm not going to say anybody that says, well, I've ordered, and that's what I've seen. People saying, well, I ordered 2 appetizers. Sometimes they'll make exceptions, and it's not a like across the board type thing, but the general rule is 1 appetizer, and you could do like a hot or cold appetizer, meaning a soup or salad with that second appetizer. Then you'll get an entree, 1 entree, and then you'll get 2 sides, and then the dessert. You'll also get like a little something from the chef, which is usually like a little Wagyu burger. So that's what you get with your $48 order. Hope that answers your question, Samira. Let me know. Hey there, OC Rocker Babe. What's going on, Alki? I'm glad that you were able to make the live. Thanks for being here. Antonio, what's going on? Hey, thank you for the congrats. Yeah, I am looking forward to the new position at my real paying job. This, as most of you know that follow me for a long time, YouTube's just a hobby for me. I love it. It's a fun hobby, but it does take up a lot of time. It does become like a second job. I'm not gonna lie. It does become like a second job, which is why I made those posts. Those that follow me on social media. I made the post that, hey, listen, I know I've always been kind of available to most people, and I can't do that and continue, especially with this new job, new responsibilities, especially throughout the day. Whereas before, there was a little bit more flexibility in my schedule. I'm not going to have a lot of that. So thank you again, Antonio. I appreciate you bringing that up. Neither one is free. I love the golf cart. We got to see so much more of that. And I love having the little map to kind of follow along for sure. Hey, Sean, welcome in. Evan's wife there, my friend. Average hours for the nightclub and casino. Average hours. Okay, so for the nightclub, they do kind of like a pre-nightclub thing sometimes, like around 11. And it's usually like 90s type music. And then at midnight, usually is when the more modern-ish music will start. It gets packed, Brian. Let me tell you, it gets super packed. So just be prepared for that. The venue is small. I feel like a broken record sometimes when I talk about the Limelight Lounge. It is a super small venue. So if you're going for a comedy show, if you're going for the nightclub, try to get there early, especially if you're trying to get seats. Casino, they open it up once they're out into international waters, and then it stays open till I've been there as late as like 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know how late it stays open. If they close it, maybe once they get into the ports. So I'm not sure, but I've been there, like I said, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Thank you. Yeah, if you don't mind, YouTube likes to see those thumbs up and those likes as they will. So if you don't mind, you're welcome. Awesome. Thank you. What is the weather like late April, Vegas desert rat over here? So Emily, I'm in Arizona. So yeah, I grew up in San Diego, but my skin is thinned out even more being in the desert. I've cruised in April. And oh man, I'll tell you, listen, in growing up in San Diego and Southern California, Long Beach, obviously all kind of the same weather patterns, you just never know what you're going to get. April showers, right? Bring Mayflowers and all that. You just don't know what you're going to get weather-wise. I'm sure others will probably start saying this in the chat as well if they haven't already. I always pack for and just check when the weather as it gets closer to your cruise. Because, I mean, this last Christmas, we were in shorts. I was in San Diego for my for the holidays, and we were in, shorts and a t-shirt and stuff. So you just never know what you're going to get with Southern California weather. I would say dress in layers or pack in layers. Emily, when you're going in April, Eric says, I've seen they brought back Faster Fun. Does that get you access to the room and boarding first? So my buddy, and he may have answered, Evan got it Faster to Fun on this last cruise. He was with his son. I had brought my daughter, so he likes having, when he's with me and I'm platinum, so he has access to the room early and things like that. So he wanted at least a minimum to get access to the room early. I'll let him speak for himself. What I do remember him saying that he didn't feel, especially on this shorter cruise and only going to Ensenada, not Catalina, where you have the tender to deal with. He didn't feel like it was a value, to be honest. But yes, he did get access to the room, to the cabin to drop his stuff off, just like the Platinum and Diamond, but just drop your stuff off and leave. As far as boarding, you'll get in the priority boarding group. So when you check in, they'll have a priority check-in line that you can go into. And then when we actually board, excuse me, wedding guests, Diamond, Platinum, and suites, all kind of, one after the other, and then Faster the Fun after that, and then general boarding. So, there's that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to speak for him. I just remember when we were driving back home, we were talking about it. He just didn't think it was truly worth the cost. So Emily and I are going the 17th. Awesome. April 17th. Okay, so Robert and Emily are together. Okay, got it. Okay, we're going to the 31st. Christopher Kirk, we're first going to be on the Radiance May 1st, and we'll be first-time cruisers in my family. Well, awesome. I hope it's the first of many, as I usually say in the Facebook groups. And I like to do these pop-up lives, especially after I've come back from a trip. I don't do regular lives like some other YouTubers. I try to do and give value. I see 62 people in here. Thank you all for being here. I try to give you some value, whether it's in my videos, in my Facebook groups, and in my YouTube lives. I'm very conscious and courteous of people's time. I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I try to give that respect back by respecting your time as well. So thank you, Christopher, for being here, and feel free to ask questions. Top three. Hi, Angelica. Welcome in. Top 3 things to do on board. Gosh, it really depends on what you're into, right? If you're into activities, of course, there's and like a little bit of adventure. There's the ropes course there for you up in the sports square area. If the weather's nicer, of course, you've got the water slides. If you're just a chill person, then you got the Serenity deck. If you're an adult, you can just go up and chill on the Serenity deck, the hot tubs. So really it depends on what you're into. Of course, eating. A lot of people like to enjoy eating or drinking. I would say if you're new to cruising, I would say try to do anything and everything you can. Now, with that said, the 3-day and 4-day cruises, I told my daughter, she cruised with me the first time on a 3-day cruise, and the first time since the restart. I told her it's fast and furious. So look at the daily activity schedules, see what's important to you, and make sure to go do those things. Just because, again, it goes by so fast, and they try to pack in a lot in that short cruise. Sorry, that it's hard to say without knowing what you're into. I enjoy walking around the ship. I like people watching. I usually host a bar crawl. I host a meet and greet, and then I just take some chill time. So it's just a little bit of everything. You're welcome, Samira. Let's see. Yeah, Justina Long says theme parties. Where are they happening at? Okay, so hey, welcome in, Justina. I hope I'm saying your name right. I think so. So the theme parties. So right now, a lot of them are happening. Actually, most of them. Not sailing parties. Not really a theme party. That's still happening out on deck. Unless it's raining. I noticed that they brought it in when it was raining, obviously. Right now, the theme parties like the 80s night. If you're going when Alex, the cruise director's going to be there, which is now until March 10th, he's doing a combination of 80s and 90s party. Just be aware of that. They're doing it inside. I talked to the entertainment director. I'm sure it's okay for me to say this. I don't think it's secret or whatever, but I did have a chat with him. I'm not a big fan. I'll be honest with you. I kind of said that on my last live show. I'm not a big fan of the parties being inside the atrium. I know in the past and larger ships, that's where they do them. And I get it because the atrium is a lot larger. If you've been on the Radiance, the atrium is very small, very tight. And then you just have people up in the upper levels watching. And some people don't mind. But the problem is the area around the little tiny stage there is it's just too packed. And it just doesn't make it fun to me. So I talked to him and he said, yeah, it's because of the weather. They have to do it. It's just too hard to say we're going to do it on the deck and then try to bring it all in. If there's any kind of weather issues, as soon as the weather gets better, they're going to move those deck parties back out to the deck, right? So right now they're hosting them inside the atrium. Sorry, long answer to your short question. Shay says, Christopher, okay, she's just talking to him. Kingman, Arizona, I'm guessing. Hello. Okay, we're driving in from out of town. Where's a reasonable hotel to stay the night before? Let me tell you something. I mean, reasonable in the Long Beach area is very, very difficult to find. If you're going to find something reasonable, it's probably not the greatest. I'll tell you, we usually, my friends and I stayed at Hotel Maya. We've stayed at other places. Excuse me, sorry. I made the mistake of eating sunflower seeds prior to this, and I have some of my water here next to me. But anyway, I do have a list of hotels, Long Beach hotels. I don't know if you're in one of the sailing groups. Just remind me in the sailing group, and I'll tag you in the post of the hotels in the area. The Hotel Maya does have a corporate code discount that you can look into. So it's available for some bookings. It's not available, but I'll be honest with you. In that area around Long Beach, it's really fine. It's very difficult to find a reasonable hotel, and I guess everybody's idea of reasonable, I guess, might be different. So. All right. Another thing, what do people typically wear on the ship in January, and for the theme parties, are they overlapping? What do they typically wear on the ship in January? And this recent one, excuse me. So some people are coming from cold weather areas, maybe Midwest and things like that, or maybe even upper Northwest or whatever. Excuse me. So they you'll see some people in t-shirt and shorts. My buddy Evan, he's the t-shirt and shorts guy almost all the time. He does get cold. I've seen him get cold once, but so it really depends on your tolerance for level for cold. This last time in January, I wore like a t-shirt and like joggers. So I guess it just, you'll see a variation. Theme parties overlapping, not typically. No, theme parties wouldn't be overlapping, but the theme party would be overlapping with other events. So this goes back to what I was saying. Check your daily activity sheets or your, on the Hub app and decide what you want to wear. I'm going to get to the next question in a second. Let me just get some water. Excuse me. All right, let's rock and roll. Is it hard? Hi, I hate force. Is it hard to get a taxi or Uber to the Long Beach airport after debarkation? No, there's always at minimum at least Uber and Lyft available. So no, should not be an issue. They are always hanging out there, and they know, especially the professional Uber and Lyft drivers, they know when those ships are coming and stuff. So yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. Oh, geez. Let's see. What else we got? April said the casino's open till like 3 a.m. according to my dad. Yeah, like I said, I know that I've been there. When I was there, I think was it in November or whatever, I did stay there pretty late. So yeah, let's see. Robert S says, is it cold in April? Are the pools heated on the ship? Again, kind of like what I said earlier, you never know with Southern California weather, but the second part is an easy answer. No, they're not heated on this on the Radiance. The pools are not heated. They do have 5 hot tubs. One of those is adults only up in the Serenity, and then you have the 2 in the main Lido deck, and then 2 in the aft of the ship. Hani will attest to this. You must do Quest. Yeah, if you're not into, I mean, listen, if you're not easily offended and don't mind adult humor, I would definitely say when you see it on the schedule, I think it'll be called Carnival Quest. It was called Adult Game Show. They've now brought it back to the original Quest name. So if you don't mind adult humor, it's basically an adult scavenger hunt. Yeah, definitely go to it. It's fun. It's definitely entertaining. Faster the Phone was not worth it for me. Only thing I got out of it was the priority boarding. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier. So yeah, I'm glad you chimed in. Let's see here. Oh, hi, Kathy. Welcome in. So Kathy is definitely a seasoned cruiser who has, and she's the casino guy. Hey, and Kathy, you may have already answered this, or maybe you came in after the question was asked. Do you know, like I've stayed as late as 3 a.m. Is there a specific closing time for the casinos? I know that you and the hubby do shifts. I know sometimes he comes in after you. So if you could help answer that one, I'd appreciate it. Is Faster the Fun worth it? I didn't get it. My buddy Evan got it. As you saw, I just read his comment earlier. He didn't feel like it was worth it. I guess if you're going to Catalina, it might be worth it. I don't know. I can't remember what you said, but if you're going to Catalina, it might be worth it just because I've heard people complaining about getting off the ship and that debarkation process, if you will, for Catalina. So it might be worth it there. But just for the general one, he didn't feel it was worth it. I got it in the past prior to the shutdown. I had it before and again, and we went to Catalina, but things are different now. I didn't feel it was worth it either, to be honest. And in the debarkation, I'm not really sure. It kind of cut off here, but in the debarkation, it surely it allows you to. I mean, anybody can go into the priority debarkation if you're carrying off your suitcases. But for those of you that saw the video I made, it doesn't. If you're not carrying off your suitcases, it does you no good because you still have to wait for the suitcases to be available. This will be our first cruise ever. So excited, Emily! I'm excited for you guys. Cruising is just so much fun, and that's why I do what I do, because I love it so much. I want other people to enjoy it and love it as much as I do. I want cruising to stay alive and stay healthy. So whatever I could do to help kind of grow the cruise family, I'm all about that. There are so many things you can do on board. Trivia, yeah. So as Bree said, there's definitely things to do. Again, it depends on what you're looking for and what you're into. Let's see here. I'm getting behind the chat, so I'm trying to see. I just want to make sure I see a lot of any January 23rd cruisers in here. Our first was July 2022. Okay. Hey, honey, thank you for all the information. You rock. Thank you, Vanity Vixen. You're very welcome. It is definitely my pleasure. Any update on the menu at Steakhouse Restaurant? Might be other than the one I did a video recently. If you haven't seen it, go to my channel and check. You can always just do a search on YouTube within my channel. But there was some recent changes. I don't know how. When was the last time you saw it? There was a couple of changes where they took the smoked oysters off. I don't remember all the changes off the top of my head. I remember they took off something else. I remember the smoked oysters being one of them. I feel like there was something else that they changed. So check out that video when you get a chance. I did do a video updating on what menu changes were made. We have Faster and Fun for all of our cruises. Bag drop off and debarkation sells us on it. Yeah, the bag drop off is really nice, especially if you're carrying on and bringing your bags on. I would say for sure. When you say it was cold, how cold? We're going March. Will it be warm enough for bathing suits, sunbathing? Again, Shannon, this is really a tough question for me. I joke with my buddy Evan about this all the time. It's really hard because everybody's feeling of cold or warm. My wife, we live in Arizona, and it'll be in the 70s, and she says, I'm freezing, right? So she's one of those people that's always cold. I tend to run warm. So it's really hard for me to say what you would think is cold or warm, right? It was, especially when you're out to sea, you get that cold sea breeze coming through. So I saw on this last cruise, I saw people laying out with bathing suits and sunbathing. Again, people coming in from the Midwest and things like that have a different tolerance level. So for you, I would say bring them. Bring your bathing suits. They don't take up that much space, and then you'll have to determine for yourself. I don't, it's hard for me to say. Like I said, I just gave you an example. Between me and my wife, she would think it was freezing, right, on the ship. Where me, I was okay with just a T-shirt and my joggers. And then my buddy Evan, he wears a T-shirt and shorts, and it doesn't bug him. So hard to say, honestly. We are booking dining reservations for our first cruise. What time do the shows usually take place each night? I don't. I'd have to double check. I haven't gone to the shows in a long time. I did them early when I first came on. They haven't changed them. It's still Soulbound and Rock Revolution. I don't know if somebody else knows the answer that's been there recently. I have some on my. If you're in my Facebook group, I have the daily activity schedules pinned in there. I don't know if somebody knows off the top of their head. I don't want to just stop what I'm doing to go look at the schedule, but it is. And you could, and if you're in the sailing group, just remind me in the sailing group. So if it doesn't get answered in here, I want to be able to answer questions, right? But I can't just stop and whatever. So if you don't get the answer here in the chat, if you're already in the sailing group for your sailing, remind me in there, and I'll be happy to tell you and get you that answer. If you aren't going ashore during a port, hello, Angelica, what's available to do on the ship? You could just again relax. They'll have food available. There's the ropes course and things like that. So you'll see again on the daily activity sheets, and kind of like what I was just saying to I Hate Force. If you haven't seen an example of your daily activity sheets, I have some from the 3-day. I have some from the 4-day. I'm actually getting some from the January 9th cruise. Somebody's going to be sending those to me. So you'll have a general idea. So again, if you're on Facebook and you're not already in my Carnival Long Beach Cruisers group, join it and check it out there. If not, remind me in your roll call group, and I can share those. I can share the link with you. Let's see here. I'm also went to the nervous and excited. Yeah, it'll be so much fun, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I'm ready to go. Like Shay was mentioning earlier, she was already booking cruises, and then her husband did it. And he was already booking cruises shortly after. Actually, maybe even on the cruise. So, is this your first one? Hey, Michael, welcome in from Pensacola, Florida. Deidre says, I love the 80s night. I do too. It'd be interesting to see how. I'll be with Alex, the cruise director, in February, on February 24th. It'll be interesting to see how they do the 80s and 90s night together. So I might actually attend that one just to see what it's like. I haven't attended. I'll be perfectly frank. I haven't attended since they moved it indoors. Just not my thing. You'd have to get there early, and usually we're having dinner around that time, so you'd have to get there early to get a good spot. And I prefer not to be up above and watching. It's just not. It's not for me personally. So. Same Kayla, I'm a solo cruiser also. We have a March 13th cruise, is Victoria. Very cool, very awesome. So Dion's not on now. I'm boarding tomorrow. Terry, no. Dion has gone home for vacation, and he won't be back till March 10th. The person you have, your cruise director, will be Alex Siegler. Tim here, figured it out, honey. Awesome. Okay, so Tim, you asked me a couple questions. I was kind of waiting. Glad you made it. So you said the drive from Vegas morning on the 27th, 6 a.m. departure, getting it on time for 12 to 1 board. Yeah, so I know a few people here are from Vegas. I think they flew in, but I think I've known some people that should drive in. You'll be fine as long as you're there, unless obviously you never know, right? If you hit some kind of, hopefully not, don't want to put this out there, but if there's an accident or something like that, but realistically, you should be okay. I know my buddy's driven out with his wife before from Arizona, same about the same driving time, left around the same time, and they got there, in time to check in. So you should be good to go, barring any crazy unforeseen circumstances. And I would say, as long as you're there before 3:30. 3:30 is the cutoff. That's they're not going to let you on the ship after 3:30 because they got to put in their final manifest and all that stuff. So as long as you're there before 3:30, even if you're after your appointment time, just go in the early, late line on the left side and you'll be good to go. Your other question was about the parking garage. I mentioned in the video that you said you watched, plus in the documentation, it is 7 foot. It does look like there's a little more clearance, but it's 7 foot. So you said 7.1, 7.2 with your cargo roof carrier. I wouldn't even bother chancing it. Just go to the in that same video I showed the little overflow lot. I would just go and park in that overflow lot right next to it. So hopefully that answered your question, Tim. Again, thank you for being here. We're on the Miracle in 7 days. Awesome, Bree. Hi from Las Vegas. Hi back to you from Arizona. Loved Hotel Maya. I did too, April. It is a lot of fun. Emily and I have never had an issue with motion sickness. We could be on boats in the lakes and rivers. Should we worry about motion sickness on the cruise? If you don't have a history of motion sickness, especially on smaller boats, I don't think so. I'll tell you, this last cruise, the January 6th cruise, was probably the most movement I've felt on the ship. And it was weird because even after I got out of the ship, usually my sea legs are good, and I even when I get off the ship, I'm fine. This time I felt it like even when I was like if I was sitting down, I kind of felt my body moving. That was probably the worst in the 12 Radiance cruises I did, 13 cruises if you include the Horizon. No issues. That last one on January 6th, but the seas were choppy because of this bomb cyclone in Northern California and all that. So hopefully it won't be an issue for you. Let's see here. Correction deal on vacation. Blake is here too. Are they still redirecting park? I think that was a one-off thing for the Miracle. They didn't do it for the Radiance, but that I know of, I haven't seen anything about them doing it for the Miracle again. I think maybe they had some issues, but if you're on a Radiance cruise, I don't think that would be an issue for you. It's just when the Miracle comes in because the Panorama and Radiance is already out. So by that time, there'll be less parking. Should be back for 317. This is just to bring a light cardigan in regards to the weather packing. Just going to try to skip ahead on some of those just because I'm behind. We booked a hotel room at the Comfort Inn in Los Angeles off of Sunset Boulevard. All right, I'm not really familiar with it. I hope it's a good hotel. Oop, just saw your update, darn it. He's one of the reasons I booked. Oh, bummer. Yeah, he won't be there, unfortunately, until the March 10th. Sunset Boulevard is far from Long Beach. Yeah. Edmonton. Bump, bro. Yeah, I got you. Are you going to be on the March 27th sailing? I will not. I'm going to be on the one just before that, the March 24th sailing. Do any of the hotel offer shuttle from the airport or to the port? To the port, yes. I don't know about the airports. To the Long Beach airport, you have to check with the hotels. But to the port, I know the Hotel Maya does. I want to say the Hilton Long Beach. In that document, Jackie, I don't know if you're in my Facebook group or in one of the roll call groups that I'm in. Just remind me and ask that question. I'll tag you. Yeah, I made a document that covers this for most of the commonly used hotels. Just remind me and I'll tag you in that document that will give you that information. Evan, it never happened, right? I heard through the grapevine that adult-only decks are topless. Is this true? Asking for a friend. No. You know what's funny, Emily, that you say that? No, the adult-only decks are not. When I went on my first cruise in 1999 on the Carnival Elation, and I'm sure some of the other fantasy class ships had this, the top deck up by the funnel where they had the shuffleboard and all that, it was a topless deck, but no, it's not anymore. So tell your friend, no, not anymore. Deirdre Williams, we stayed in LA for a few days that went on the cruise. It wasn't too long of a ride to Long Beach. Gotcha. All right. I Hotel Maya can leave your car parked at the hotel while you're on the cruise. Yeah, if you so the 2 times that we've stayed there, we got the park and cruise option. So if you have the park and cruise option, then yes, you can leave your car there and cruise. Emily, not topless. Yeah, not sure. It depends on the cruise line. If I visit the wineries, can I bring back bottles? If so, how many? So you can bring back the bottles of wine. They're going to take them from you. Hello, Amy, by the way. Welcome in. They'll take them from you. Oh, they'll ask you to, they'll have a table over there set up with some Carnival employees and you got to turn them over. So like I have friends that went and did a winery tour. I think it was on my June cruise. And I can't remember. Well, they had brought back, I think, at least 4 bottles and 2 of them broke when they were coming back in. That sucked. I was right in front of them and their bottles fell out of the box. Anyway, the rules are supposed to be like 1 bottle per adult or things like that. I know people are bringing back way more than that in their luggage, but just be aware that on the ship, when you bring it back, they're going to ask you to turn it over until the last day they'll give it back to you. So, yeah. Thank you, Emily. No topless. Yeah. 1 bottle of champagne. Yep. Yeah. Like I said, on the ship, when you bring it back, they'll take it from you. So just be aware of that. Where's all the first-time cruisers at? Cruising is so addicting in a fun way. Carnival is so much fun. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago you were a first-time cruiser, April. It's awesome that you're here now and able to kind of help out as well. So first-time cruiser right here going January 27th. And just, casino stays open depending on how busy the casino is. Usually the latest is 4 a.m. Okay, so for the person that asked the casino question, there you go from Kathy. Thank you. First timer, May 1st, Christopher Kirk. First timer for Emily. First timer in solo, January 23rd for Justin. I highly suggest checking in your luggage. Your luggage will be in front of your door. Your cab will be available at 1:30 p.m. Go and enjoy your ship. Yeah, exactly. And this is a question that's asked a lot. I tell people it is not worth it to try to lug it around to save a few bucks on a tip. It's the worst way. Listen, if you're going on vacation, I understand everybody's budgets are different, but saving a few bucks on a tip to turn around. I know some people are like, no, it's not about the tip. I don't want my luggage to get lost. I'm not going to say that luggages never get lost, but if you think about the amount of cruises that go out, the number of luggages that may get lost are very minimal. Like I'm in many different Facebook groups and, run my own. It's like that. I can't remember the last time I've seen somebody say, oh, they lost my luggage. So, don't let that be a reason that you got to lug around luggage on the ship, and just start your cruise in a not so fun way. Hey, Becca, welcome in. Doing a back-to-back. Anyone know if the 3-day anyone know if the 3-day MDR menu and 4-day are the same? I think they're fairly similar. Becca, I have both of them in my Long Beach Facebook group, so you might want to check them out if you're in there. I can't remember if you're in that group, but check it out. I think they're fairly similar, and let me know if you don't get access to them, and I'll tag you in the posts. Personally, I'm always cold. It was perfect during the day. I was inside at night. Wine helped too. Yeah, of course. The alcohol definitely will help in the keeping warm. So I've been on the cruise in mid-April, and the weather was in the 80s. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you're from Southern California. Alki, that you just never know what you're going to get with the weather. So how early can you board the ship? We did purchase Factor the Fun. So boarding the ship, the boarding process typically has started around 11 a.m. Again, they'll do wedding guests, suite guests, diamond guests, platinum guests, and then Faster the Fun. So I would say, I don't know, between 11 and 11:15, there's a good chance that you'll start boarding that ship, Emily. Ensenada was sunny. And yeah, it was. It was really nice. I want to say 7:30 and 9:30 for the shows. Yeah, thanks, Bree. That's what I was thinking. I wanted to say it was like 7:30, 8:30, something like that. Probably closer. Yeah, somewhere around there. Beautiful. Let's see here. First time cruiser, March 27th. Super excited. Do we get to see the onboard activity schedule before we get to board? No, unfortunately, you won't see it until you board. It'll be on the Carnival Hub app when you get on board, and they have paper sheets available for those that want to disconnect from their phones. They do have paper sheets available at guest services on the counter on the far right side or at Java Blue. Now, as I mentioned, and again, this is not like trying to promote people to come on the Facebook group, but that's the whole purpose, right? Is everybody's looking for information, and I like to have one good source of information. So I put everything in my Facebook group that I collect, whether it's the daily activity sheets, the menus, things like that. So I do have the onboard activity schedules for my January 6th group cruise. I am getting that was a 3-day, and then I'm getting some from the January 9th cruise that are going to be sent to me, and I'll be uploading those. That's a 4-day activity schedule. So if you're not in there, Sarah, if you're on Facebook, come join. If you don't feel like joining another group, I get it. If you're in a roll call group and you're good with just that, remind me, and I will tag you. Or actually, I'll just send it to you via message. So, what's the age and height limit for the ropes course? I don't know off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember if it was in my video. I did make a video, Victoria, on the ropes course. So if you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, there's a video I made that includes like the sky course and all that. I don't know off the top of my head. It's in that video. If you don't get the answer, remind me again, and I will try to send you a link to that video. I have any time dining and cruising solo. When is it usually quieter in the NDR that I would be able to get my own table? I don't want to go during the dinner rush. Oh, that's a tough one. It's always busy. When I first started cruising, during the restart, when I went at 5:30, and I like to go early because I just want to be done and then move on and do other things. So I would say if you don't mind eating early, I would shoot for 5:30. I think that's your best bet if you're looking for. I'll be honest with you. Like there's times where I skipped, especially if I was going solo. I just skipped the dining room just because I don't know. I just didn't want to sit by myself. I did it before, and I just went and ate somewhere else, like at the buffet or went to the seafood shack or anything like that. But I think your best bet would probably be 5:30 p.m. if you're doing your time dining. Yep, addicted. Where do we pick up the daily schedule on the ship? So yeah, I'll just repeat it again. It's at the guest services. They're on deck 3 on the far right, where you'll see. So there's the regular guest services line, and then there's a platinum diamond line. To the right of the platinum diamond counter, you'll see it. You could just walk up, like just kind of walk around, like, and just kind of grab it, or just go up to Java Blue on deck 4, and they have it again on the far right side. Thank you. I'm just curious because sometimes they play until 7 a.m. in Vegas. Yeah. Deirdre says most of the time the shows start around 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Gabri, those times give the second seating diners time to see the show before dinner, and later shows for the first seating diners. Gotcha. Thanks. Daily schedule is available on the Hub app once you're bored. Thank you so much for all your tips videos here and on the date-specific Facebook pages. You're very welcome, Angelica. It says we drove the day before our cruise. My other friend drove on the morning of our cruise ship and made it on time for her check-in at 10:30 a.m. Okay, so April, for the person that was asking about Las Vegas, so April's from Las Vegas, so she's answering that question in regards to driving out from Las Vegas. Hey, what's going on, Cuzzo? Welcome in. Let's see here. What's the daily parking rate? $23 a day, unless something's changed in the last couple of weeks, but $23 a day, and you pay when you leave. What to expect from muster station and how long is it? It's very short. It's just a quick safety briefing. If you watch any of my embarkation day videos, I think most of them include a little snippet of and it's just basically them showing you how to wear your put on your life jacket, giving you some safety instructions. I would say if you're not in the liquid lounge, you're probably going to be there for maybe a couple minutes. In the liquid lounge, they kind of wait for people to fill in the liquid lounge area because it's a lot larger, and then they'll go through it. But again, the actual presentation is just a few minutes. Again, talking about the life jackets and a few safety things. So very, very easy. Get it done, get it out of the way, and then go enjoy your cruise. Yes, I'm parking there as well now. Okay, good deal. Okay, another weather question. What is the temperature range in early March? We are coming from Canada, so anything warmer than 60 degrees is warm to us. Again, March, Southern California, tough with these weather questions. I remember like my sister renting a beach house one time in March there in San Diego, and it was cold. I mean, cold by San Diego standards, right? And then there's times in March it's really nice. I would say, again, I guess for Christy and anybody else, check the weather prior. You can go online, weather.com or an app, and just check the weather prior to your cruise because, again, you just never know what you're going to get in Southern California, unfortunately. Emily S. Muster takes about 5 minutes now. Yeah, yep. Sarah says, what time is debarking when we get back to California? So this is one of those questions. It's, they'll start, sometimes as early as 6:30 in the morning. You'll hear them start talking about express debarkation. So if you're planning on taking your luggage off with you, there's a good chance if customs has cleared the ship and all that stuff and you're taking your luggage off, you could be off as early as 6:30 or 7 in the morning. I've also heard where, there's been a holdup because of customs or any other things. And sometimes it took people a little longer, maybe like till 8, 9, 10 to get off the ship. You don't really know. So that's why most people tell you try to plan any flights or anything like that till after noon sometime, just because, again, it's not under Carnival's control. It's basically customs clearing the ship and then allowing them to start the debark. Let me just say this: Carnival wants you off that ship as soon as possible. Trust me, they're making announcements in the room purposely to wake you up. All those things. They want you out of that room, out of that cabin, off that ship as soon as possible because they got to turn it around, for the next cruise. So just keep that in mind. It's not Carnival. It's customs that's holding things up. It'll be warmer. What date are you on? Is that for me? March 24th. I think you already know that. Maybe you're asking somebody else. Do they take the handles off the balcony doors if seas are rough? I have heard. Yeah, that's a good question, Sharon. I have heard people say that, post something where they got a message saying that they're not able to open the balcony doors, and maybe that's what I don't know what they do. So if somebody knows, has been in a balcony when the seas are rough and knows the answer to that question. But I have seen people saying that they got a notification saying that they wouldn't have access to their cabin or their balcony, during rough seas. Oh, okay, cool, Deirdre. I will be on that March 24th sailing as well. So I'd be happy to meet you at the, if you're planning on going to the meet and greet or the bar crawl I'm hosting, I'd be happy to say hello. If not, if you see me on the ship, please say hello. Sarah, debarkation around 8:30 a.m. Yeah, that's probably a good point to shoot for. 317. When you buy stuff on the ship, how taxes work when you get off the ship? When you buy on the ship, because that's the reason why you won't see things open until they're international waters. So it can be duty free. So there's no tax issues when you get off the ship. So if you're buying it on the ship, heck, even when you're buying it in Ensenada, no issues with taxes when you leave the ship. Oh, sure, answer. Okay. I don't know why I read that as adult only is topless. Um, is Hilton Long Beach close to restaurants and sightseeing items? We'll have a full day to explore. Yeah, definitely. That's what the only negative I would say about the Hotel Maya, and I think probably Marriott Long Beach, but that might be a little bit closer of a walk. But I can tell you from Hotel Maya, and April can tell you because they did the walk. And I asked her, I was like, how was it? Anyway, it's a long walk. So unless you're going to eat at the on-site restaurant Fuego or get DoorDash to you, it's not great for like walking to go get something to eat. Having said that, Hilton Long Beach, the Hyatt Regency, some of those other ones there, yeah, definitely nice because they're there within, reasonable walking distance to food areas. Duty free on board, tax free. You're welcome, Amy. Linda, yes, close to the aquarium or marketplace. Gotcha. Thank you, Bree. You're always on it. I love it. I believe duty free has a limit of $800. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I shouldn't just say it's like carte blanche, go buy anything, but just in general, like smaller purchases. Yeah. So I would definitely, yeah, great location. I would definitely check if you're planning on buying, a lot of stuff. Then yeah, you might want to consider that as well. Can we get to the Carnival transportation from LAX around 1 p.m. ish, or should we Uber? Can we get to? Traffic in that area is just you never know. I know some people chose not to do the Carnival transportation, if talking about the Carnival shuttle, because they didn't want to wait around and that kind of thing. I think from what I've seen people answer, and I just drive up from San Diego. Usually I go visit my family in San Diego, then drive up in the morning. But from what I've seen on people responding to people asking this question, they usually tell them you're better off going with Uber and Lyft. Shuttle $32. We use Lyft and Uber. Thank you, Regina. First timer March 6th. Awesome. I do suggest to put important documents, medications, extra clothing in a carry-on bag. I agree with April on that one. In Ensenada, I'm looking for shore excursion, something like Mr. Sancho and Cozumel. You know what, Luis? I wish they had something like Mr. Sancho's in Ensenada. I'll tell you, for those of you that are in my Facebook group, I just recently posted. I have a contact in Ensenada who's part of like the Chamber of Commerce for Ensenada. She is also trying to work on getting me access to the director of tourism so I can try to work with them to offer some suggestions and ideas, not just from me, but from all of you on things that they could do to make Ensenada a port that goes beyond just, going there to drink a papas and beer and, things like that. I feel like there's an opportunity to do some really awesome things there in Ensenada. It's not the sexiest port in the world. I enjoy it. I mean, I still try to make it a good time for myself, but yeah, something like that would be awesome for sure. So the answer to your question is no, but I am working hard to get that meeting with the director of tourism to start making suggestions like that. So yeah, as of right now, you'll see the excursions that are available through Carnival. Those are good, the options, but there's nothing like Sancho's unfortunately right now. All right, let's see here. Brian, limited number, but no taxes. If you prepay gratuities, is that just for the room or the entire cruise? Wondering if I should still bring cash for tips. Listen, this is always like such a controversial topic, unfortunately, because everybody's opinion on gratuities is one thing, and then everybody's budgets are different. I always, pay the regular gratuities that are part of your cruise, right? So you get the regular gratuities that either you prepay or get taken out, right, during your cruise. I always bring extra cash for tips, not just for on the ship, but also in Ensenada. But on the cruise ship, I always like to tip the bartenders and people that help me out and things like that. here and there. So again, depending on what your budget level is, I don't expect everybody to go beyond, their means or whatever, but bring in a little extra cash to tip out on top of that, especially if you like to go to bars. Listen, this is no different than being in Vegas or any land-based place or any bar. If you're a bar person, you take care of the bartenders, they're going to take care of you. So with that, I would just say, yeah, if you could bring a little extra cash to tip people along the way, it's always appreciated. Are the cabins warm? How necessary is a portable fan? I for the most part, they're pretty nice. There's been times where either a cabin I've been in or I've heard other people complain that their cabin is on the warm side. I like, and my buddy Evan too, I like to bring the portable fan for two reasons. One, I like the feeling of fresh air, kind of blowing on me. Like the room will stay cold, but it's not like a fan, right, blowing down on you. So if you like that feeling of the fresh air blowing on you, or so that would be one reason. And two, I like the white noise. And the white noise definitely more so than the other, because it helps drown out some of the hallway noise and things like that. So for me, for those two reasons, I always bring a little portable fan. Let's see here. But special is buy three. How does this? But MIT special is buy three, get one free. How does this work? Is that for? I think maybe you're talking with Bree or something like that. I'm not sure if that was for me. Oh, buy three cartons, get one free. I think that's the car I'm talking about. Yeah, for the cigarettes. I think they still have that. Hopefully somebody else will know that answer there. Everyone I know just packs them away in their luggage. I'm guessing, again, we're talking about the cigarettes. Emily and I are not big drinkers. However, we want to enjoy all the other drinks on the ship for free. We may have a few adult beverages a day. Is a cheer package worth it? Wow. That's tough. When you say you're not big drinkers, if you're not going to drink, and because it's both of you, right? You have to buy it for both of you. It's not like you buy it and Emily can share it. No, if you buy it, Emily has to have it, right? Okay. So with that said, if both of you are not going to enjoy at least 5 to 6 drinks a day, depending on what kind of drinks you get. And then maybe, like, if you're doing the math, including some coffee, if you're going to get some sodas, some milkshakes, and some of the other things that are included in that Cheers package. But the biggest number that you need to look at is how many drinks a day. So I don't know what not a big drinker means. Does not a big drinker mean 10 drinks, or is it 2 drinks, right? So that's what you have to evaluate. I would say if you're doing the math, average would be around 5 to 6 drinks a day. If you're not going to have that each, then it's not worth it. And that's just from me. Others may say something else. April saying, tip 1, bring a lanyard for your sign and sale card. This is your everything card, your key card, your drink card, etc. You don't want to lose it, but you can get it replaced at guest services. Absolutely. April says, my son is 9 years old and he was able to go on the ropes course. Okay, good deal. Max Adam Closet, welcome. Hi, honey, I'm sailing next month. How do we lock in the current Wi-Fi package pricing? Do we pay for the package up front? Thank you in advance. Hey, Shane Adam, welcome. So tonight's the last night to get probably an announcement for the 63 people in here. Tonight's the last night, if I remember correctly. I saw a post to get that last, the pricing just went up on the Wi-Fi, for those of you that didn't know. So if you're planning on it or you're on the fence, I would say go ahead and get that locked in tonight. And if you're planning on adding the Wi-Fi, so yeah, definitely do that tonight. Does the Radiance have a teen lounge? Yes, I took my 14-year-old daughter this last cruise with me on January 6th, and she had fun. It was interesting on that. I just want to point out for those of you cruising with teenagers, so the cutoff is 14 years old. So it's, I think, 12 to 14, and then the next one is like 15 to 17. She was on the high end, right? Obviously, she's 14, so she just felt like, I would like to go and hang out maybe with some of the older kids. So she went and asked, and they said yes, but with your parents' permission. So I had to go up there and say that it was okay for her to go up into the 15 to 17 range. So if you end up sending a teenager that's 12 to 14, you may not want to if they're maybe 12 or 13, but if they're on that cusp, right, of 14, just know that that's an option. Or it was, at least this last cruise. I picked anytime dining, says Justina. Can I still reserve a time, or I have to check in and wait for an available table? So if you're doing the anytime, also known as the your time dining, you will make you'll check in on the app, right? So when you're available and ready to go, you'll check in on the app. and then they'll let you know. They'll send a message saying, we'll let you know when your table's ready, and then they'll send you a message letting you know your table's ready and what the table number is, and then you'll go to the Sunset Dining Room. So keep that in mind. It's the Sunset Dining Room for your time dining or anytime dining, and then you'll go there, and that's on decks 3 and 4. So it'll tell you, right, if you're on deck 3 or 4, aft on the where your table is. So if you go to 1, they'll tell you go upstairs, or if you go to the other one, go downstairs, depending on where your table's at. Hope that answers your question. Hi, Christy. Do we have to request if we want the beds together or separated? When you're on your cruise manager, right? After you check in, you'll be able to say if you want 2 twins or a king. So you'll just be able to select that. For the most part, they get it right. I've heard people saying, well, I picked twin and I got a king, or I picked a king and I got 2 twins. If that happens, it's not a big deal. They'll either put them together to make it a king or take them apart to make them 2 twins. So, but you can make that request in your cruise manager on the Carnival website. This Mike V. Let's see. We'll be on the Empress deck. How do they assign what muster station to go to? They base it on where you're at on the ship. So the muster stations are on deck 4 towards the front of the ship. So and then they kind of go back from there. So depending on where you're at, they'll assign it. You'll see it on your boarding pass. You'll see what the muster station is. And when you get your card, you'll see what the muster station is. Again, if you're in my Facebook group, you'll see I have the muster stations pinned there in the features section. If you're not in there, it's no big deal. I also, prior to your cruise, I'll post, if I'm the admin of your roll call group, I'll post the muster stations in your roll call group as well. True Funk Soldier, hello, honey, have you poured out of San Francisco yet? No, and honestly, I don't know that I'll ever go out of San Francisco. I've heard nothing but bad things in regards to the process out of that terminal and stuff. So there's probably a good chance. I'm never going to say never, right? But it's not high on my list. I'm hoping that whatever, I don't know where they go to from there. What I would love to, and I don't want to derail this conversation, but I hope at some point Carnival from the West Coast will add some kind of cruise that goes up north and hits some of those ports like Frisco and go up to like Victoria, BC, so that way they have a foreign port and all that. And I would also love for them to go even further south. I know they're going to have a La Paz cruise on the Panorama, et cetera. Anyway, but I just don't see myself going out of San Francisco when I can go out of Long Beach and hit most of those places I need to. Maybe if they went out of San Diego, I'd consider it just because, usually I'll drive to San Diego to go to my parents' house and then drive up from there. Christy, request your bed. Okay, gotcha. Yep. People are answering questions. I love it. Lori Zaragoza says, will you be joining us on this cruise? I don't remember. I know you're in one of the roll call groups because I recognize the name. But just, no, I'm on, the next one I'm on is February 24th. And then the one after that is March 24th. So those are the next 2 cruises I have that are booked. I do admin a bunch of different Facebook groups, whether it's with somebody else as a co-admin, or I just create the roll call groups to help share this information that I get from my monthly cruises. First time we're gonna have some fun. Kayla Winter says, are there places to charge your phone and things outside the room around the ship? Ooh, good question. I don't recall I'm not saying that there aren't. I just don't remember looking for ports outside the room around the ship. I would say, just because I'm not sure, and I know many places probably are not going to have it readily accessible, to bring yourself a little portable charger for your phone outside of the room. Because I haven't looked for them personally, but I don't know that they're all readily accessible either. Sharon says, how's the Pacific Inn? Is that the one in Seal Beach? Any insider tips? We booked it for next weekend. Thanks for. So I don't. If you're talking about the Seal Beach, I think that's Seal Beach Pacific Inn. Debbie Baker, who's she co-admins with me in a few groups, and she's one of the moderators in my group. She swears by the Seal Beach Pacific Inn, loves it. That's where they stay all the time. I know I've heard other people say it's a great place to stay. I haven't stayed there personally, but that's just if that's what you're referring to. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. Let's see here. It was a long walk. Okay, so yeah, man, I'm way behind. Yeah, the long walk from the Hotel Maya to get something to eat. Yeah, I suggest eating at the on-site restaurant. It was good. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't like, oh my God, like this is crazy expensive either. I felt like it was reasonable for a hotel on-site restaurant. So, do people get fancy outfit-wise for the chef's table, MDR? I don't know about the chef's table. I haven't attended the chef's table, so I can't speak to that. Hopefully, somebody else might. The main dining room, not typically. Formal night is when you'll see it, whether you're on the 3-day, which is Saturday night, or the 4-day, which is Tuesday night. You'll see all varying different variations of dress, if you will. They won't turn you away unless you're like grossly underdressed, like meaning tank top, flip flops, beach shorts, swimsuits, things like that. You'll be asked to go and change. But if you wear, this comes up a lot. But if you're wearing something somewhat nice, whether it's a nice pair of jeans with a polo as a guy or things like that, you'll be okay. What they're trying to avoid is people just showing up like right out of the pool to the dining room kind of thing. That's unacceptable. Even in land-based restaurants, most places are not going to be very keen on that. Would you do that in a land-based restaurant? I don't know. I mean, that's the thing to kind of think for yourself. But anyway, so yeah, Samira, to answer your question, you'll see different I've seen people in tuxedos and like ball gowns, and I've seen people in just, again, as I mentioned, like nice jeans and a polo. So you'll see different variations. Hello, Happy New Year, and Beach Life Rocks. That's the only cruise I've done. Long Beach and Sauce was fun. Stopping in Cali. Hey, Fairy Dust, welcome in. That's a nice one. It's a fun one for me. I enjoy it. How strict are they with showing original prescriptions for medications? I bring my medication with me, but it's in the prescription bottle. In the past, when I had a lot more medication that I brought with me, I would bring it in a pill box. One thing that I've learned recently that people have kind of said, hey, take pictures of the prescription bottles. At minimum, if you don't feel like lugging them with you, take pictures of your prescription bottles, and that'll go a long way. In case you're ever questioned, you'll at least have pictures on your phone of the original prescriptions for your medication. Nicole, hello, welcome in. I heard the cruise terminal parking has been closed for summer, making people shut up from convention centers. That's still going on the 2-6 cruise. I think that was, I haven't heard anything since. And again, I'm in many of these Facebook groups that they had that happen recently for the Miracle on the Carnival Miracle, but I don't know of it happening for the Radiance. So you should be good. You'll get an email. If anything like that happens, you will get an email letting you know. I purchased Faster the Fun. Hello, Francine. I purchased Faster the Fun as an add-on after purchasing my trip. The bag tags don't say Faster the Fun. How will they identify my bags? I think they say priority. Evan, do you remember what it said on yours? I don't. Yeah, I'll have to check. I don't know if my buddy Evan's still in here, but I don't know. I thought they say priority, but hopefully he'll respond here if he hasn't already. What he had on his, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully he'll answer on that one. What they have on theirs. I know on mine on the bag tag it says platinum, so. I'm not sure what it says for Faster the Fun. Just learned that the cash tip your servers, if you add it to the sales slip, the tips go into a pool. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. And that's when I was talking about the cash tips. That's exactly why I bring it, because I'll still tip on the slip, right? But I like to. There's certain bartenders I really, really love. They're just amazing people. You'll meet them when you're on the Radiance. There's GD. You'll see on his name tag says GDE. So GDE, he usually works in the app bar. Fatima, she works in different places. Randolph. There's just certain ones that I've built a good friendship and rapport with that I will tip cash directly, but also tip on the slip to make sure that other get taken care of. But I like to either along the way or towards the end of the cruise tip them directly as well. So just keep that in mind. I bought a portable fan from Amazon because I like the airflow. Yep, there you go. With the drink package, you get 15 drinks a day. We bought the Bubbles package on Vista last August and still tip the waiters extra. Gotcha. Okay, so our friend seeing your tag should show Faster the Fun. If you just added it, give it a few days for your printable tags to change. Thank you. Appreciate that. This is Julie, right? I think it's Julie. Yeah. You have to wait 2 minutes in between shots. 2 minutes, not 5 minutes? 15 drinks includes specialty coffees. Yeah, if you get the spike coffees, it will include the 15 drinks. Yep. Cheers package includes specialty coffees. Okay, there's Evan. 15 counts. Okay, so hopefully Evan responded as well to that. You love the cheer. Yes, love the cheers package. Says okay. Robert Pinsky, hello, welcome. My last sailing in the dinner room was less formal. They didn't have a tablecloth anymore and less personal service. I sort of missed the service they used to give us. Yeah, they did get rid of the tablecloths, and as far as the less personal service, I don't want to get spun off. I will just say, Robert, there is a little bit of that. I did mention that to my buddy. I felt like in the past, especially the head waiter, because like the role of the head waiter, you usually have three, right? The head waiter, the one that's usually bringing you stuff, and then like an assistant. I don't know what the official titles are, but yes, the head waiter doesn't spend as much time providing the serve for those of us that have cruised a long time, right? And apparently Robert is one of those people. It is different. For newer cruisers, you're not going to know any different. Don't get hung up on it. Not to discount what Robert's saying, not to discount what I'm saying, but I'm just saying for those of us that have cruised before, yes, we do see a difference. Does it make a difference to me? No. Maybe to Robert. It doesn't make a difference to me. I still go in, enjoy my time, and leave. But yes, you definitely notice a difference. For you newer cruisers, don't get hung up on it. It's not a big deal. You'll still enjoy yourself. Restating the cheers pack includes specialty coffee and energy drinks. All right, correct. But your comments sound like those were part of it. Okay. Same slot machines have a charging station. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, some of the slot machines you can put your phone down and it has a little charging station. That is correct. If you're going to be in the casino. Do they serve a lobster in the main dining room, or is that just at the steakhouse for extra cost? They have a lobster surf and turf option that you can purchase in the dining room. It's not free on the shorter cruises. On the longer cruises, it is part of one of the formal nights. But at the steakhouse, again, you could do the surf and turf option again, but it's not an extra cost in the steakhouse because it's part of the entree options, right? If you paid for it. And this last time, I went with 2 lobster tails because that's one of the options in the entrees. I went with 2 lobster tails. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling steak. So I got 2 lobster tails. I was really craving lobster. So yes, you can get it as one of your entree options in the steakhouse, or if you're in the main dining room, you can purchase the surf and turf off of the steakhouse selections menu. Still concerned about parking for the Miracle. Yeah, again, maybe for the Miracle it's still an issue, but I'm not sure in regards to, like I said, for the Radiance, I haven't seen it on my cruises where we got a notification about the parking. Relaxation escape. Me and my family are flying to Long Beach Airport. We don't want to rent a car. Could we Uber or Lyft to the cruise port from Long Beach? Yes, absolutely. You could definitely Uber over, not a problem. Let's see. No shirt, no service. Yeah, definitely no shirt, no service. Yeah, on any night, not just formal night for sure. Cruising couple of nerves. Okay, yeah. Just answering about the steakhouse. Awesome. Thanks for replying to Shay. No problem. I always take the early flight. Evan, that might be the new. Julie gets the lobster each time for $21 in MDR. Oh, and on the, is that on the Radiance? They have just lobster available. I'm not saying that it isn't, but I think I've just seen it as surf and turf. But hey, that would be great because I wouldn't mind just getting just lobster. But anyway, okay. So ship doesn't sell out. Do they offer room upgrades at a lower rate? They've been selling out, to be honest with you. Whatever rooms they may leave open are for, if there's an issue with somebody's cabin and they need to move them and that kind of thing. But it's been packed, and haven't been. And the reason why I say that is because one of the nice things that Carnival has done for me in the past is allow me access to open cabins to do Carnival or to do cabin tours videos. And every time I ask, they don't have any available. So, and that's been, all these past cruises that I've been on every month. So, yeah. The upgrade, yeah, and the upgrade usually will come before you're on the cruise, and you'll get it on your cruise manager. I purchased a chair. Can I use it to buy a shot for a friend? So technically no, right? Technically no, but I can tell you that I know people that will get a shot, walk away, and then hand it to someone. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. Carnival says no, they don't want you doing that, but I'm just saying that people do that, so I'll leave it at that. The bartender I had kept our drinks flowing. I told you he had 2 minutes. Yeah, it's usually 5 minutes in between. But again, if you're taking care of those bartenders, they I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but let's just say they're willing to skirt the rules a little bit. They have ways to get around it. So I figured, I thought I remembered. It took me a second to remember. Yeah, that's right, Evan. I remember you bringing that up because you wanted to get it for Andrew. Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's because I don't eat mammal. The manager had to approve it. Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's true. That's possible. Here's the thing, you guys, for everybody, especially first time cruisers. Looks like I'm getting caught up in the chat finally. Cool. For first time cruisers, they're there to make you happy. So what we're kind of answering are general answers based off of the regular experiences. Now, like to Julie's point here, if you wanted to Lobsters and they're able to charge you, the price, maybe the same price as a surf and turf, and they can get that approved by a manager. Yeah, I'm sure that those type of things can be worked out if you talk to the maitre d' and that kind of thing. So yeah, I could definitely see that kind of stuff happening. Mike's Meat, at your own risk. It's not allowed, right? Even if it's legal in California, it's not legal on the cruise ship. So I would tell you no. But of course, if you want to do it at your own risk, that is entirely up to you. We had to park at the convention center in December. But with that said, let me just say this, and this is the only comment I'll make on this topic, is I would much rather people bring edibles, because that way those of us that don't partake don't have to smell it all over the ship. Again, I'm not judging. If that's your thing, hey, I don't mind. It's just like cigarette smoke or whatever. The smell is not to my liking. So I would much rather, if people are going to do that, I'd much rather bring edibles and if they're going to take a chance either way, right? Then I would much rather bring edibles than to bring to bring it and smoke it, and then I have to smell it the rest of the cruise. Just my 2 cents. I might not be a favorable opinion, but it is what it is. We had to park at the convention center in December. Actually went smoothly, and it's $3 a day cheaper. Gotcha. I like the Serenity area on the Miracle at the aft of the ship. On the Radiance is on the side of the ship, and you can hear the Lido music, so it's not as relaxing. Yeah, I don't know what area the Serenity you sat at. There's the one that I'm guessing you're referring to on the side of the ship, but I don't know if you knew that there's another level right above it, right? So you can go up, and that level you don't really hear it, and you can go all the way to the front of the ship on that Serenity deck, and you won't hear anything. So maybe you just weren't aware of that you can go up to the next level of the Serenity. It's not just that little side area. I don't know if you saw the stairs. So if you walk past the bar, past the hot tub, and go straight, you'll see stairs and then go up. That's still all Serenity area. Just in case you're on the ship again, you won't have that issue. Serenity on the Miracle is the best. Gotcha. Can kids check themselves out of the kids club? 12-year-old son, daughter's 18. They should still do the teen club. I don't know what the cutoff is. If it's, I know my 14-year-old can, so I can tell you that much. I don't know if 12 is the cutoff. The 12 to 14 range might be the cutoff. I know below that they can't, for sure. I know my 14-year-old could, and she's in that 12 to 14 range. What was it? Circle C, I think it was called. I think the next one up is Club 02. So she was able to sign herself in and out. So I'm guessing maybe your 12-year-old will be able to. Your 18-year-old cannot do the teen club. It tops out at 17 years old. So the 18-year-old will have to do the adult activities, or if they want to, of course. But Emily says, is there a dress code expectation walking around the ship away from the pool deck? No, not typically. I mean, of course, if you're wearing a bathing suit, especially if you're going to go inside the eating areas, they prefer that you wear a cover up, right? And you'll see most people wearing cover ups. They would also ask that you not go in there if you're in the hot tub or in the pool and you're wet and you go walking into the. But for the most part, again, if you're walking away from the pool deck and going back to your room, the expectation is at least having some kind of cover up. You can ask for robes; they're free. You can ask for robes in your room if you want to, if it's cool, right? And you want a robe as well. So there's that option. No, there's no dress code. Again, it's just nice, I guess, common courtesy to probably have a cover up on. But hey, you know what? Everybody do your thing. Put it this way, our entire party at the bar had a good time because of the bartender. Yeah, I believe it. Do they have the 3D body scanners, Brian? They do not. It's just they have the security, the regular like bag check thing, and then of course the metal detectors. We like hanging at the bar in the Serenity area. I got you. Okay. Well, if you're hanging at that bar in the area, then I can understand why you heard the sounds, of course. Technically no dress code. Yeah, they freak me out. Oh, those 3D ones? Ah, the ones that go, yeah, I know what you mean. Edible CBD oils are not allowed. Yeah. Do I have to check my kids into the kids club prior to the cruise, or do they do that once they're on board? You have the option when you check in. Hi, Kelly. When you check in, I checked in my daughter during the check-in process into the kids club, but you can do it when you're on the ship as well. So not a big deal if you don't do it during the check-in. Christopher says, is it better to book your hotel in advance or better to do it closer to when you go on the cruise for a better rate? I would say with hotels, usually as they get more full, the price goes up. I think I think I was just having that conversation with Evan recently about looking at hotels for February. We prefer to book in advance just because as capacity fills up, obviously the rates will go up as well. So I would say in advance would be the better option there. If anybody works in the hotel industry and can tell me I'm wrong, feel free to, but that would be my understanding. Justina says, thank you for all your answers and tips. You rock. I can't wait for my first ever cruise, and thanks to you, I feel I'm prepared and I'm a big plan, so it's a big deal. I appreciate you. Oh, you're very welcome. It's what I'm here for. I love doing it. Is there a Facebook group for specific sailing dates for the Panorama? There's obviously some Panorama specific groups, and then I also my group that I have, the Facebook group covers all of the Long Beach ships, which is the Panorama, the Miracle, and the Radiance. And I do have a list in there of specific dates, but there's probably other ones that are not in that list. You can always search in Facebook for the Panorama cruises. Let's see. If you're going inside the ship, put on a cover up. Yeah, again, like I said, it's just common courtesy. That's all. But I've seen people walking around in their bikinis and and all that. And hey, listen, at the end of the day, you do you, right? Have a fantastic time for excited for you all. Awesome. Should the wife bring her marriage certificate along with her birth certificate to board? Listen, you're going to get varying opinions and answers on this thing. My thought process is, and talking to the Long Beach cruise staff, the terminal staff, it's always better to bring more than less. So, like, for example, I brought the expired passport card for my daughter. Even though I brought her birth certificate, she brought her school ID. And I know that that's technically enough, but I brought her passport, her expired passport card. Again, I mean, how much more room was that going to take? Same thing with the marriage certificate. Would it hurt? The chances are they're probably not going to ask, but it wouldn't hurt to bring it. It's one more document, try to put in something protective. But that would be my answer to you. Another tip, make sure to return your beach towels. Yes, or you'll get charged for it for sure. Faster the fun, better to leave on the last day. First or last, I'm in no rush. I would say if you're in no rush, just hang out and leave and the faster the fun doesn't really give you any benefit leaving the ship, right? They have the express debarkation. And if you're carrying off your luggage, even if you don't have faster the fun, you can leave the ship, right? If you're in a hurry to get off. If you're not in a hurry to get off, hang out. They'll usually let everybody know, okay, it's time to go. Stop. You ain't got to go home, right? You got to get up out of here, that kind of thing. So, so if you're in no rush, just hang out on the ship. They'll have food available. Go sit and eat and take your time. Giving up Vegas, been going for the last 8 years for my birthday. Yeah, I've mentioned this before. I used to be a Vegas guy. I'm actually going next weekend, this weekend coming up with the wife. We're just doing a quick one-day turnaround kind of thing. But, that used to be kind of my thing. And I love it because I've always said it's like Vegas on the water, right? You have a lot of the different same things, the casino, the food, the bars, the nightclub. So it's kind of cool because you get all that. And lately, man, Vegas before it was a really cheap getaway. It's truly not. If you look at the hotel rates, Even now, like I was sure we were going to go this weekend, and they had some convention in town, and the rates were just ridiculous. I was able through Hotwire to get a relatively cheap rate at the Venetian. I think it was like $200 with the resort rate and all that, which is not bad. But the way I look at those 3-day cruises, this is kind of just Hani's philosophy on those. If you go and we'll use Vegas as an example, even with let's use that $200, right, at the Venetian. That's just for one night on a Saturday, right, mind you. So if you look at a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, coming back home Monday, but it's a 3-day, you can get it around $500 on average, right? Maybe a little more, a little less, somewhere around there. But let's just use $500 as an example. So if you break that out over 3 days, so $150 a day, that's what, $450. So 160, 175, whatever. But you get where I'm getting at. So that's just for a hotel. You're going to pay more than that. That $150, $175 a day is not only including your lodging, but it also includes your food and entertainment and all that. So to me, it's a much better deal than a land-based vacation. So with that, you do with it as you will. But okay, let's go back to the questions. I was kind of giving an opportunity for people to see if there's any more questions, and then we can always wrap it up if we've got nothing else. Is the Wi-Fi package worth it? Christopher, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I used to get the premium in the past. Obviously, as a YouTuber, I wanted to be able to go live from the ship and things like that. It was, in the beginning, it wasn't too bad. But as the cruise ships got more and more full and more people are using it, the premium was not even worth it. Value, if you need access to email, I would say get the value plan. If you have to have access to email and want some access to some websites, then get the value plan. If all you want is just access to social media, Facebook, Snapchat, things like that, get the social package. So that's my best answer to you. If depending on what you're looking for, but the premium, in my opinion, I know other people are like, oh, I work on the ship and it's fine for me. I don't know what to tell you. I could just tell you, and I cruise on the Radiance pretty much every month. The premium has not been worth it to me. That's just me personally. So take that and do what you think you need to do with it based on what you need it for, right? The internet. Michael says, we have a large group of about 20 cruisers going on the Radiance May 12th. We'll be celebrating my 50th birthday, going to be off the chain. Can't wait. Hey, Michael, what's going on? Yeah, that's one of the ones that's on my radar. So hopefully I'll be there to help celebrate your 50th birthday and maybe host a meet and greet and a bar crawl and meet you and the wifey. So yeah, like I said, May 12th. I think I mentioned that to you guys as well on Facebook that is definitely on my radar. Emily with some cute emojis. Lost wages out there. My favorite dinner on Carnival is the prime rib. Yeah, that's on the formal night, right? Yeah, prime rib and the garlic shrimp. I like it. Listen, I'm not a huge. I don't want to get off on the tangent of food and all that. But it's decent. Listen, you have to kind of remember they're cooking for 3,000 plus people. I mean, if they made it a certain way, let's say super flavorful, people are like, oh, it's no flavor. Well, if they made it super flavorful, which I would love too, right? I'm a flavor guy. But then somebody else is going like, oh, I don't know, that's way too much flavor. That's too much salt, or that's too much pepper, or that's too much this, right? So when they make it bland, I mean, you could always add the salt and pepper. I know it's not ideal, but it is what it is when you're cooking for that many people, right? And then they have to hot plate it, right, and put it on the thing. And sometimes you get it and it's not super warm. It's just one of those things you just have to understand what you're getting into, right? Especially for your first-time cruisers. Just kind of go in with those expectations. April says, I brought my expired passport, birth certificate, ID, and marriage certificate. Yeah, it's just better to have them. It's better to have them and not need them, right? What's that commercial, Aflac commercial, right? Better to have it, not need it. I know, but I'm a host. I'm treated very well. Awesome. In the Vegas. Gotcha. I'll rent your room for $1 million, honey. Yeah, I bet you would. I live in Vegas. Cruise life is so much better. Yeah. Our flight and hotel to Vegas is always cheap, but we spend so much money there. The cruise will be awesome for more all-inclusive feel. And that's true, right? Yeah. So, even though they have a casino on board, but with all the other stuff going on, it's kind of nice because it tends to allow you to do other things, and then you can kind of visit the casino in between, right? So helps out a little bit. Chris, thank you for all you do, honey. We appreciate you. Well, I appreciate all of you as well. I love it. I love the relationships I built in here. April, Shay, all these, Julie, all these different people that I interact with. I met through this, right? I met through YouTube. I met through Facebook. So I'm appreciative because I've made all these lifelong friends, hopefully, right? Unless you guys say, nope, I don't want to be your friend anymore. We always do staycations here in Vegas after discovering Carnival. We only want to cruise now. When you get bit by that cruise bug, thank you. Yeah, you're very welcome, Brian. When you get bit by that cruise bug, man, it's game over. That's it. Ever had cucina for dinner? Absolutely. We just had cucina for dinner this last cruise and the cruise before that. I love the specialty dining. I'm not gonna lie. I love the steakhouse. I love the Cucina del Capitano Italian restaurant. I am a specialty dining guy. I love it. If you do Cucina, and it's a good value, right? $18. If the 48 for the steakhouse may not be something that you think is worth it, right? $18 is definitely a good value for what you get at the steakhouse. And if you go on the Radiance, she should be there for a while. Ask for Giza. She's awesome. And Shadulu is one of the other assistant waitresses there. But ask for Giza. I guarantee you will not regret it. She's an awesome I don't know what the proper term is, food server, but she's just great. So if you go to Cucina, yes, the food's great, and ask for Giza. The lowest Wi-Fi package worked for me. Yep, I made a reservation. Okay, cool. Yeah, when you go, so Brian, if you made a reservation, ask for Giza. Tell her Hani sent you. She's just amazing, for sure. Yeah, he's talking about that. Yep. Prime rib at Ellis Island here at Vegas is the best. Oh, okay, good to know. Much haven't agreed. April. Yeah, so I'll tell you it's funny because somebody asked me in one of the Facebook groups, said, hey, is there any way that I could thank you, monetarily or whatever, thank you in a way. And of course, there's YouTube has the ability to do chats, but those of you that know me and have followed me for a while know that I'm not doing this for the money. As a matter of fact, I just took all my YouTube money recently and donated on the last 2 sailings. In December, I bought a bunch of shirts and Group for St. Jude t-shirts and bags, and I gave those away. And then I bought this last cruise in January, I bought teddy bears and gave those away. This is not about money for me. I'm very glad that I have a very good, well-paying job. This is truly for fun. So this person was asking me if there's any way. Now, other YouTubers will probably say, yeah, give to my Patreon and donate in Cruise Cat or the super chats, blah, blah. That's not what I'm about. So I told this guy, you know what? You want to do something nice for me? We were talking about Cucina. This is what just reminded me of it. I said, ask for Giza and tip her whatever you were going to give me, right? Give that money to her. That's how I am. And this is not fake or phony. I would much rather you take care of these people, the people that work on these ships and people that could definitely use that money. So if anybody wants to do something nice for me, that's what I would ask is please do that. Pay it forward by giving it to the staff. Just tell them, hey, you know what? Hani told me about you. Thought, you're a great bartender. If it's one of those bartenders that I mentioned or a great server at one of the restaurants, if you do that for me, I would appreciate it. So with that said, let's go through the chat and see what we got here. We've always done the steakhouse. We're going to go do Cucina this time. Cool. I'm not into food. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, me neither. I signed up for the chef's table and then I canceled it because I just know that even though I would have just been doing it for the YouTube video experience, I just would have enjoyed it, to be honest. I'm just not into that. As you were saying, food. Our Carnival tradition is Cucina on the last evening. Also, our lunch on day 1. Lunch is free. Yeah, so far for me, the tradition has been steakhouse first evening, Cucina last evening. So that way Saturday, because I was usually doing the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday night, formal night dinner to get some prime rib and shrimp. So that's kind of usually been my schedule for the last X amount of cruises. Daughter loved it. They accommodated her veganism. Awesome. Good to know. April says you can also have Cucina for free for lunch. Learn it from watching on. Yeah, but I just want to be careful with that because Cucina for lunch is just pasta bella. It's a pasta bar. It is not the full menu. And the reason why I say that, and it's not to discount what April's saying, I just want to be careful because somebody said they had the pasta bar and they're like, well, I don't want to pay for dinner because I didn't really care much for the pasta bar, right? I didn't care much for the free lunch. Why would I pay for it? Completely different menu. So for those that are even considering it, people watching on the replay, what you get for free for lunch is basically a pasta bar, completely different menu for dinner. So just keep that in mind. Don't couple the two together. Book Cucina for day 3, something different. I would tip her, and I work on tips. So I got you and her. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. And I've never had to work for tips, but I'm very appreciative for those that do. Again, especially for the ones on the ship. And those of you that are new to cruising, you're going to see how hard these people work on this ship and the sacrifices they're making. Granted, I know that's their job, but listen, they're doing this because they're trying to take. And I'll just talk about Gaiza for just a second as we wait for the chat here to catch up. I'll talk about Gaiza for a second and why it's important to me, especially why I'm mentioning her. She recently lost her father, and so she's become the patriarch, if you will, of the family. She's the one that's now leaving her daughter, her child behind. I can't remember if it's son or daughter. I apologize, but she's leaving her child behind and doing this to take care of her family in her father's absence because that's the only way that they can live, right? So she's sending all her money back. I mean, even little things that she wanted. And then just recently, her brother, a 17-year-old brother, fell ill, and they had these huge medical bills that they have to take care of. And so she's asking them, well, whatever I have there, sell it, sell my laptop, sell my whatever to help pay for these bills. So this is what, I mean, not saying that people in this country are not dealing with those things, but we're very fortunate to not be in these type of situations. So again, I give you this story because this is one of many stories I'm sure you'll hear if you take the time to get to know these people that like I do. I like to get to know them on a personal level. So this is why I said that to this other gentleman. And Brian, thank you so much. It would really mean the world to me because it goes to help because they're begging, borrowing, stealing, not stealing, hopefully not, but you know what I mean, to try to get through just what we take for granted every day. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I just want to explain why. I agree, Brian, trying it for the first time to next cruise. Linda, hello. Can you throw out the bartender names again? Yeah, absolutely, Linda. So GD, me and I would like to call him G. What up, G? But it's GDE. You'll see it on his name. And he usually works in the aft bar, which is the tides bar in the aft part of the ship by the pizza place. That's my dude. And then Fatima, if you see her, she'll sometimes she's in the back, sometimes she's in the atrium bar. You'll see her floating around. Fatima is great. I know a lot of people love Karen that works at the Red Frog pub, which is on deck 5. She's great too. I don't have that personal connection with her like I do with GD and Fatima. And then Rondolph, who's a senior bartender again, so he floats around. It's RHONDULF. So GD, Fatima, FATIMA, Rondolph. Those bartenders are really great. I'm sure there's other great ones. Those are the ones I've just built good personal connections with. Karen, Kaaren at the Java Blue, great person. Again, if you're there, please take care of her. Awesome person as well. So those are some of the names. Samira, does the Cheers package cover drinks in the Steakhouse too? Yes, it does. You can get not the bottles of wine, but you can get a glass of wine or champagne or whatever, but up to a certain amount. Evan, do you remember what it was? Because I remember Evan was ordering. He got the Cheers package this last cruise, but it does. I know he ordered a glass of. Did you order a glass of wine or champagne? I can't remember, but it does. Just ask them and they'll let you know. But yes, it does cover drinks. Oh, there you go. Evan's answer. It includes glasses of wine and soda too. Yep. Does Cucina have baked pasta dishes for dinner? Baked pasta. You know what? I have the menus available. Terry, I don't know if you're on Facebook, but if you are either in my Facebook group or one of the roll call groups, if you're in neither, you can always send me a private message and I can send you the menus. I don't remember all of the dishes off the top of my head. Evan, do you remember? Because I'm one of those guys that kind of gets the same thing all the time, or relatively the same things. And I don't eat a lot of pasta. So I don't know. But Evan, do you remember if they have baked pasta dishes? Let me know. Completely off topic. When the Costa ship comes to the West Coast, what itinerary is Carnival going to run? Yeah, that's a good question. Your guess is as good as mine. There's been a lot of speculation, etc., but nobody knows until Carnival announces it. I hope, again, they start doing some cruises up the northern California coast and then some even deeper south into Mexico. Don't forget to check out Bonsai Sushi or Seafood Shack. I agree. Yes, the pasta bar. Seafood Shack is yum. It is. It is one of my favorites. Dora, hello. Can I get the cheer package for one day or does it have to be the duration? It has to be the duration of the cruise. Yeah, that's been asked a lot. I wish they had some kind of options like that, but yeah, it's the duration of the cruise. Full duration, yeah. And anyone over the 21 in the room. Lobster roll, the Seaver check. Yep. Everything. LOL. Brian S. The buffalo shrimp is great. Honey, I love the peeling shrimp. Yeah, at the seafood check. Evan got the chowder. Yeah, chowder in the bread bowl is good. Lobster roll. Evan got the chowder this last time. He really liked it. The buffalo shrimp is not bad either. I didn't care much for the clams, the fried clams. It was all just breading and not very much clam. That wasn't my thing. All right, I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up here. I'll take a couple more questions and then we'll call it a night here. Do they have programs for children with disabilities? I know that they have some signage about like sensory issues and things. I've seen some signs about that. I don't know, honestly, the answer to that one. Christopher, I wish I did. Definitely would check with when you get on the ship. Try to get with the Camp Ocean director. She's very nice. I can't remember her name for the life of me. Oof, gosh. But if you go to guest services and ask to talk to the Camp Ocean director, I would make that suggestion for sure. Yeah, thanks. That's right. I just had the clam chowder. It was great. Okay, folks, it's getting late. For me, I still haven't eaten dinner, so I'm gonna go get all this talk about food. I'm starving. The menu is available on Holly's Facebook group. Yeah, I have the menu there for most of the stuff there. I've seen Facebook something about duckies hiding them. Yeah, Dora, that's a thing that's been going on for a long time, where people hide ducks around the ship. Some people participate in hiding, some people participate in finding, and some people just don't even care. But yeah, it's definitely a thing that like some people like to do. Will my cell phone work at sea? It will like to make calls. It'll be very expensive. Yeah. So I would say that you can use it to get the Wi-Fi and communicate back home with that, or with people with that. But the cell phone will work. I have Verizon. My cell phone works when I'm in Ensenada, and it'll work in Catalina, I believe. But on the cruise ship, it's very, very expensive if you want to get a plan. It's not included, but I got a hack for you. I'm pescatarian, so I get the shack set up, fries and burger, and get the fish from Blue Iguana, and make my own fish sandwich. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you did that. What is the Facebook group name? It is Carnival. I'm going to get you a link and drop it in the chat here, and we can end with that. It is Carnival Long Beach Cruisers, Radiance, Panorama, and Miracle and Firenze. So there's the link. So I'll drop that in the chat there. And I'm going to bring it up over here. So this is the URL. So for anybody's watching on the replay, so I'm going to also put that in there. So that is the link. So you'll be able to click on that and get to it. And then this is, if you're searching for it in Facebook, this is the name: Carnival Long Beach Cruisers, Radiance, Panorama, Miracle, and Firenze. So for those of you that are in here that are not part of that group, feel free to come join us. We're at almost 4,000. What are we at now? We're at 3919. So we're pretty close to 4,000, which is amazing. And then, of course, there's all the roll call groups, and I have a list of all the Carnival Radiance roll call groups as well. So thank you. My first time cruising and taking my mom for her birthday. That's awesome, Dora. That's very cool. Should I introduce myself to the casino host on day one? Absolutely, Brian. If you are a casino guy, definitely go and get to know the casino host. That's how you're going to get them deals. That's something I learned. You want to bring them a little gifty gift too? Wouldn't hurt, from what I hear from other people. Platinum player, MGM, 8 years. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, you definitely want to get to know that casino host. So again, one more last time. You're welcome, Terry. So one last time before we end this, that is the link to the Facebook group. That is the name of the Facebook group if you're searching for it. Guys, I'm Hani with the Beach Life. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. If you're not subscribed to my channel, if you love this type of information, I would surely appreciate you. Again, for those also watching on the replay, appreciate you subscribing to the channel, but only if you're really into this type of information. If you're not going to watch the videos, it really does me no good. But if you are and you're into these videos and these type of live shows and things like that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye now.